Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Great view out there. Now, if you're wondering where we are in a village up in the highlands above Paya and Coral Bay. I'm not even going to try and say the name of the village because I can't say it. It starts with an A, it's got a K in it, an S in it. It's a very difficult word to say. And, you know, my Greek's not very good and neither is yours. So we won't bother with that bit. But we're coming down from the highlands of this village and we're going to go down and join the Coral Bay main road to give you a bearing. Now, what am I doing up here, you're pondering? Well, I just come to see a customer and his house is just down here on the left hand side. So I thought I'd come and show you the drive back down to paradise, shall we say. He lives on the left hand side here and unfortunately he had a bit of an altercation with a car in a car park the day before yesterday, and now he wants it to, well, go away, shall we say. So we're going to come and get his car tomorrow and do a bit of this and a bit of abracadabra on it, and then come back, have a rummage around in his wallet, and we'll both be happy, shall we say. But join me on this drive because the views are going to be spectacular. It's like a beautiful mountain road and it wiggles and it waggles all the way down to the main Paphos to Coral Bay trunk road is what we're going to call it. And it's a very nice view. Going to come up right now. Have a look at that. It ain't going to get much better. Oh no, look at that. Look at the goldenness of the sun glistening through those clouds, hitting the very rear of the blue Mediterranean Sea. And we're going to wiggle and waggle down here, and of course, well, you know, you're going to have to put up with me jibber jabbering. Alan, I'm checking over my right hand shoulder. Switch the machine on. Here we go. And Dawn, Sean, if you're eating your breakfast, if you're curious to know what time of day it is, 3 o'clock, and my God, it's cold, 16 degrees, my God. I might have to switch the electric seat on in a minute to warm my bottom. Caroline, hopefully you've got the memory foam pillow on your bottom because, well, it's not the smoothest of roads, shall we say, and there's one or two twisty left-handers and right-handers. So I'll drive nice and slow, otherwise you'll be upsetting Nigel with his big guns that he's sipping on. Have a look at that. In the very distance there, that is downtown Cape of Paphos, if you're curious. And the little bit just over there with the white rooftops, that is downtown Kisonica. So we're going that away at the moment, and then slowly but surely we'll be going the other way and heading towards Coral Bay as we work our way down this mountainside. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought we'd talk a little bit about Cyprus. That's what I thought, because that's where we are, and probably most people are curious to know various facts about Cyprus, Paphos in particular. Now, you might be wondering, you know, Mr. Paul, does he like Cyprus? Does he not like Cyprus? Well, I've lived here for 14 years, so I can complain about the place as if it's going out of fashion, don't you get me wrong, but overall it's a very nice place to be. I make fun of the locals, I make fun of the Gambaro number one, the mayor and the president and everybody else, and I make fun of myself, by the way. I don't take life very seriously. The biggest idiot on this planet is probably me. I have made more mistakes than anybody else could possibly imagine. I am a buffoon and I am an idiot. And there we go. So I'm quite happy to insult myself. I'm quite happy to take insults, and I've got quite a thick scun. Scun? I'm losing my English. Marika has stolen my English, even though she's not co-piloting, or in fact she'd be driving if she was with us. So anyway, now, so Cyprus, love-hate relationship, very good place to live. Wherever you live, you're obviously always going to have the pluses and the minuses. And to be honest, there's more pluses living in Cyprus than there is minuses. You know, I talk about the roads, well, they're Sherlock Holmes, that's for sure, but I know in North Wales, where I'm from, the roads are Sherlock Holmes as well. So that's 1-1, shall we say. Let's talk about the Gumbarus in blue, the policemen. I make fun of them. I say how lax they are, but to be honest, you know, that's not a bad thing. They're there when you really, really need them, but they're not there when you don't want them, if you understand me. You know, to get caught speeding in Cyprus, you've got to be an idiot. You really, really have. And you've got to be, well, beyond an idiot to get done for parking somewhere. You know, go through a red traffic light. You know, what's wrong with that? You know, if you flagged a police car down and said to the barrow in blue there, you know, that car just went through a red traffic light, he'd look at you and say, well, you know, what's wrong with that? Did he hit you? No. So, well, leave him alone. You know, perhaps he didn't see it. Perhaps he was putting his flip-flops on. Perhaps he was lighting a cigarette. You know, you can't take life too seriously. So, to be fair to them, they are there when you need them, but they are, shall we say, not over the top when you don't. So, if you want to do a bit of speeding, get on with it. If you want to park on a W line, get on with it. You know, they're not going to shout too much at you. That's the way it goes. So they're not bad. So the police are pretty good, and the traffic wardens are pretty good. You know, normally, just so you understand, if a traffic warden, if you observe them, that is, obviously you're not in your car, so you don't. But I've sat in my car and observed traffic wardens in downtown Paphos, and they whiz around on their little mopeds, and then they find a car that's parked on WA lines, right by a red traffic light, across the road to the bank. So, you know, it's committing multiple offences, and the person's obviously gone into the bank or whatever, and the traffic warden gets off his bike and he makes it quite obvious he's there, and then he'll stand around the car and he'll walk around the car, and I've watched this for about 5 minutes, by the way, because he really, really, really doesn't want to issue that ticket. He really, really doesn't. And he gives you all the time in the world to come to that car before he issues that ticket. So that's not bad. That's another positive, isn't it? So, and the weather, well, that's a positive, even though it's too hot in the summer. That was a customer of mine, just went past. I just realised, because he lives in Cathecus, and if you go along this road and keep going up, you do end up in Cathecus. So he's taking the long way and the slow way home in his BMW X3. I've seen him for about 3 months now. Oh my God, terrible customer. Most of our customers are quite regular, by the way. There you go. So luckily we are able to make a decent living, which is lucky for me, because, you know, anyone who's watched the channel and seen Marika, wherever there's a shop that's open, well, if it's not open, she picks a brick up and chucks it through the window and takes my money and goes and gets what she wants. And that's how it works. That's what you do for the woman you love. Versace Reciviale Boeuf, the most beautiful woman in the world. And if you're wondering how she's getting on, she is slowly but surely coming to terms with the passing of her father, Edward, and she'll be returning to your screens very, very soon indeed. So we thank you for sticking with us while the ugly one and the boring one takes you on these drives along these horrendous roads. But I suggest everyone, if you see the words "let's drive" or "let's drive from here or there," go and get yourself that memory foam cushion, like so sweet Caroline does. And she buckles up, pours her number one, who is Nigel, the big guns, and they sit back, kick off the shoes and relax. No, they are in safe hands. I'm a safe driver, very, very cautious. I don't tend to drive very quickly unless I need to catch someone, say. But so you're going to enjoy the drive, and slowly but surely, I think you understand now, we are coming much, much closer to sea level, and you're getting to see the beautiful blue Mediterranean Sea as the sun gets ready to depart to shores of Cato, Australia. But don't worry, it's going to come back at around about 5 to 7 in the morning and cook downtown Cyprus all over again. So if you want to enjoy your breakfast again tomorrow, Miss Dawn, Mr. Sean, same time, same place, and I'll be waiting for you, and I'll open the door for you, chuck you in the back, and off we will go. So here we are rapidly descending, and we're now going to join the Coral Bay Road. Technically we are in Coral Bay, and just over there there's a sign that's going to welcome us to Cassoniga. There we go, see? Welcome to Cassoniga, it says on the sign. So this obviously is downtown Cassoniga, and this is where the plan is to build the marina. There's been debate over this marina now for around about 20 plus years. But apparently, to the right hand side here, they are going to start and lay the first brick of the foundation this year. So they say. Let's see what happens, eh? Because it's something that's possibly missing from the Coral Bay and Payer area. There's plenty of people with a couple of bob in the area. There's plenty of customers with cars that are 100,000 euros plus, so they've all got a couple of bob, and perhaps they'd like to buy a boat and park it up on the beautiful, beautiful coastline of Coral Bay, Paphos, on the island of Love, which of course is Cyprus. So anyway, here we go. We're heading back towards Paphos. That's where we're going. So kick the shoes off, kick back and relax. It'll take us around about 10 to 15 minutes before we ascend back into Paphos town itself. There's a bus on its way to Coral Bay. If you're curious to know from Paphos what bus you would want, well, the bus number is 615, and it normally says Coral Bay on it as well, and they run around about every 20 to 30 minutes. So if you want to go to Coral Bay from Paphos, jump on a bus which says 615 Coral Bay. You'll be there in around about 20 minutes. Have a wiggle and a waggle, get back to the bus stop every 20 to 30 minutes later, and one will take you back, and it will probably be badged up as Paphos Harbour. So there you go. Slowly but surely becoming an information channel. Coming up on the right hand side is the CU Beach Bar. Closed this time of year, but will reopen in about March, and it will run all the way through to November, and then it'll close down again. Big speed bump, so let's mount it slowly. Oof, that is a big one. So as I keep telling you, the roads are absolutely terrible. Some parts are not too bad, and then some parts are absolutely Sherlock Holmes. So here we go. We're coming up now to the Kasonaga traffic lights. If you were to take a left here, you would go up into downtown Kasonaga, well, mid-Kasonaga. We're in downtown Kasonaga now. And the road along here gets absolutely awful. It doesn't matter what I do, there's going to be potholes kicking through to Oh So Sweet's bottom. So hang on to that memory foam pillow. That's what I would do. Hang on for dear life. And perhaps reach over and have a sip of the brandy sour of Mr. Nigel to soothe your nerves. There you go. There's one of them. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And there's more to come. Yeah, there you go. Over here we've got the Atlantic Mari Village Paphos. That's what that hotel complex is over there. If you're going to stay there, let us know and we'll have a wiggling around, and you never know, they'll throw us out. The last time I went in there, they threw us out before the camera even got switched on. There's the Rafe coffee shop, which is tacked on to a supermarket, which is all in Greek, so I don't know what it's called. Quite a useful supermarket, and possibly the best coffee in downtown Kasonaga. So this now is the Kasonaga precinct area. Lots of shops, supermarkets, kiosks. You've got Paphos Computers, you've got a bakery, a butcher's, you've got a will writing man, you've got the Paphos Post and the Revival clothes shop there. You've got Pro Stitch, who does alterations, an Irish lady, seafood shop, fish and chip shop. You've got the IKEA Gora supermarket. A few bits and bobs going on, as you may have noticed. And pizza restaurants, and a chap who does souvlaki, which is roasted pork and chicken on a split roast, if you understand me. And you've got the Harmony restaurant here, closed down this time of year, but that will reboot in around about March. Very reasonable prices and very, very good food and very good service, and the boss himself serves you. True gentleman, to be honest, very, very nice guy. So here we go, downtown Kasonaga. The next place we're going to enter will be downtown Clorica, and of course you've got a downtown and an uptown, so stick with us. And again, I apologise for the road service and the camera bobbling around, but there's not a lot I can do about it, I'm afraid. I'm trying to cushion it with my hand and my knee, if you understand me. This is a CETA uplink station on our right hand side. CETA is the National Telephone Authority of Cyprus. They're the boys in charge of all the communications in downtown Cyprus. Got a wedding function place here, a Lassos wedding venue, so perhaps that might be a place where you might want to go and tie the knot and get some pictures. And it backs right onto a rather nice beach area. And again, now we are coming into downtown Clorica. You've got the Paphos Indian restaurant coming up on the left hand side. Very, very popular restaurant, quite a big place. And over there you've got the Helios Bay Hotel and Apartments, various restaurants, bits and bobs going on over here, as you can see. And the next one along here is the Azure, I don't know how you say it. That's another hotel complex. And you've got a public car park, which at the moment is free, which allows you to park up and go along the coastal pathway, and also to the Baracas Lounge, coffee, drinks, that kind of thing. And if you go hunting back through some of our earlier videos, you'll understand that that's where I first romanced Miss Ochinguasiviana Booth, the girl in my life, Marika, the most beautiful woman in the world, and the girl that I will die with, literally, shall we say. She wants to hang me with her own bra. That should be a spectacle, but at least I'll enjoy the views. I think Jeremy and Simon understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, I used to romance her there, by the way, in the early days of our relationship. I used to take her there every night because she was worried about her previous partner's family, because there's quite a lot of his family in downtown Paphos, and she was worried about I think the word is recriminations, is it? You know, them beating me up or this kind of stuff. But as it turned out, it worked out the other way. I've never known a more bunch of cowards in all my life. Anyway, don't start me off, you know. You only got to look at them when they run the other way. Anyway, we now understand why Russia's losing the war. Anyway, stop that rant. That's the jokey side coming in. So I used to take her there every single night, and we used to walk around and chitter-chatter, and slowly she fell in love with me, shall we say, because I fell in love with her at first sight. There was no option about that. My heart was gone. So I persuaded her and coerced her and took her away, and slowly but surely she fell in love with me, shall we say. So a bit of insight into Marika and me. That was 4 years ago, and we are very, very rarely apart, and we share everything in our lives together, and we're trying to share it all with you. So, as I've mentioned before, the title of the channel, shall we say, gives it away. A lot of people think it's a channel about Paphos, and it is and it isn't. It's actually, as the title suggests, a channel about Marika and me. And of course, we are using the beautiful island of love, and in particular Cyprus, Paphos in Cyprus, to hook you in. We understand that because we understand how you find us. You go looking at Paphos, perhaps Ayia Napa as well, because we've done a few videos up there, and we're going to go back up to Ayia Napa slowly but surely once the channel returns to normal. So we hope that you enjoy what you see, and we hope that you enjoy the content that we bring, and we hope that you enjoy at this moment my insanity, and we hope when Marika comes back that you will enjoy her monkeying around. And this lady is a very, very clever lady indeed. I've told you in previous videos, she speaks many languages indeed. She says 7, but she speaks more, you know, and she's very, very clever indeed. The circumstances that she found herself in, shall we say, her life didn't play out the way she was thinking it was going to play out. But then, does anyone's life play out the way it was supposed to play out? You know, my life is a catastrophe. You know, that's what my father once said to me. I said, your life is a catastrophe. My father was a consultant engineer, if you're curious to know what he was. He was a very, very clever man who did quite well in life. He had some ups and downs, don't get me wrong. He had some major ups and downs. He made some huge mistakes, and well, there you go. We all do, don't we? But a very, very clever man. At the age of 27, He was the area surveyor of Denbighshire, if you understand what that is. He was in charge of all of the road network of Denbighshire, which is now Clwyd. So he was, well, the youngest area surveyor in the whole of the UK. That's what it was. Normally you wouldn't get to that point until you're about 35, somewhere around there. He was 27 when he got that job, and he loved his job. And I'll talk about him more in videos as we go on. And then things in the local borough, you know, the council changed, and he didn't like that, so he decided to leave, and he went to work with a farmer, and they set up a tar macadam company. But you know, my father made a mistake where he was not a partner in crime, because as he said, he was naive, and he took that company to millions and didn't do very well out of it. So then he left that and then set up on his own. Anyway, we'll talk about him in another episode, shall we say. Hopefully we can hook you in. Let's let this chappie in. I don't understand sometimes on the roads, you know, people are very aggressive and they don't want to let people in. You know, whatever a ret track, I mean, that guy there who tried to squeeze around his back end, quite aggressive. You know, where are you going? The lights are on red, so what's your hurry? Take it easy, you know. The guy's not doing any harm. He's not swearing at you. He indicated. He just wants to switch lanes. That's all he wants to do. And the odds are, you know, let's follow these two cars now because we're going that way. And I'll bet you the man in the Mercedes ends up ahead of the man in the lesser Mercedes. Although it's a very, very good car, that, to be honest. Louise, I know you've got one of those. Louise Barnhawk. I know you've got a Mercedes A-Class. And to be honest, it's a very, very good car. I don't mean to demean it when I say a lesser Mercedes. It's a very, very good car. Very practical car for town driving, and not too bad on the highway as well. And of course, it's like a minivan. You can stick all the baby Barnhawks in the back, and even Harry the keeper, you could chuck him in the back. He's quite a big lad, but I'm sure put the seats down and you could roll him in the back, and the Barnhawk could cuddle him and keep him going. And even Mr. John could be riding co-pilot with you and filming those YouTube videos. By the way, that day's coming, by the way, 26th of Jan, well, 25th, isn't it? You're coming over. So we told you we're going to accost you on the 26th of January. So it's not far away, but 3 weeks. And we'll be cuddling and kissing you and welcoming you back to the island of love. Where are we? Downtown Tomb of the Kings. Yeah, that's right. Almost coming up to your apartment, Barnhawks. Not far away. For those interested in, again, what's going on in the bus terminals, this is the downtown bus terminal of the Tomb of the Kings area. There it is. Mr. Ronnie, Mr. Ian, and then next door to that is T for 2. So we're deep in the downtown Tomb of the Kings area. We'll keep going, and if you're familiar with where we are, we're going to get to the Paphos Mall, we're going to get to the Paphos Mall roundabout, and that's where it's going to end. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you do like what you see, please hit that like, click subscribe, and why not come back for a little bit more of my complete and utter insanity. And if you really want to help the channel grow, I know Nigel doesn't like this bit, but why not click through to the About page, where you could consider buying myself a coffee, or 2, or 3. Benzine's not cheap. Thanks for watching. One last thing, as predicted, the little white Mercedes that was quite aggressive. Here he is to my right hand side. I'm going to undertake him now, and if you look carefully, there's a silver car in front of me, and there is the Mercedes that politely asked to change lanes, and that chappie didn't like him. So there you go. There is some justice in the world. Aggression doesn't always work, as a short man in Russia is finding out. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching me, and you melt my heart every time you make the comments. You truly do. Thank you very, very much, and I will see you on the next one.